All right, let's go out and look at this article on PC Gamer. April's Windows 11 update reportedly causes blue screens and boot loops on HP and Dell PCs. This person says they'd find it easier to stay on top of OS updates were it not for all the issues caused by said updates. Yeah, Windows 11 is a disaster, guys. It really is not good. Keeping up to date with drivers, fresh fixes, and security patches is key to keeping your gaming PC running smoothly. That is until an OS update seemingly breaks everything. Case in point, a number of Dell and HP users found their diligent efforts to stay on top of Windows 11 updates rewarded with blue screens and boot loops again, like the second or third time this year, after they said they're going to listen to their users and they're going to dial this nonsense back. Yeah. Following April's KB 5083.769 update for Windows 11, several users took to Microsoft's Q&A support forum to report the issue. Those affected have reported seeing a mosaic of weird pixels upon initially booting after the update, followed by a blue screen and a boot loop where their machine would keep attempting and failing to repair the issue. So the mosaic of weird pixels, yeah, that is a Windows issue, a driver issue. I had that happen on actually one of my desktops about a year ago. I thought it was my graphics card. It was my graphics card because I actually wiped that system clean and installed Linux, and it's totally fine now. There are no issues with it. So it was clearly a driver issue or a Windows issue. Another poster claims that 3 people in their company have been hit by the problem, and that in one case, the employee's recovery environment is so messed up I can't even get them into it. Exceedingly unlucky machines like this aside, uninstalling the latest quality update via recovery tools and pausing updates altogether has fixed the issue for some. Even then, some users report their OS is seemingly determined to install the KB 5083.769 update. Remember, again, they said that you could pause updates indefinitely. Yeah, what happened to that, right? I noticed that I put my updates on pause and I came in to the office and my computer had restarted and reinstalled some fresh horse shit on the Windows computer that I used to do some editing on. And I was like, what the hell? It didn't break anything, thank God. But I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? It's just as well Windows 11 machines now let you skip updates during first-time setup. Speaking of booting up fresh devices, Microsoft apparently also is working on removing the requirement to log in to one of its online accounts too, saying it cares deeply about Windows and wants it to be better. Microsoft has been attempting to rebuild user goodwill. This will not help. That has included pumping the brakes on its AI feature rollout and pivoting to a more intentional strategy when it comes to Copilot integration. Unfortunately, for those unlucky enough to have suffered the KB 85083.769 update fumble, the road to rebuilding their trust in Microsoft has gotten a whole lot bumpier. Yeah, this is not whatever. Whatever. Let's see here. What's this? This was January. Yeah, Microsoft confirmed that a stack of bad Windows updates is causing boot issues. And look, the reason that this is happening, from what I've heard, is that they've been vibe coding or using AI assistants to build a lot of their updates, and they're not doing the quality control that they used to do. They're not doing Q&A like they used to. Here's the thing. You shouldn't have to roll the dice every time you turn your computer on. Your computer should just work, right? Especially if you're using it for work. Your computer should just work. And with Microsoft now, you pretty much take a chance, like, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? The reason Microsoft is in the place they're in right now is that their stuff just worked reliably, more or less, for decades. That, and it's, pre-installed on everything. But for the most part, it worked, right? And now it don't work. So speaking of issues, let's talk about this issue, right? So Microsoft is going all in on AI. We know that. They're trying to dial it back a little bit because of consumer backlash, but we know they're going to go all in on AI, obviously, right? This has come from CNN. Microsoft is going to offer voluntary retirement to thousands of U.S. employees for the first time. They want you gone. They want you gone. You cost too much money, human, and you want days off and health insurance, and so we can crank out. I mean, this is not. Is somebody inside the company pushing this shit out so they can defer all these layoffs, maybe to make them look bad? I don't know. It's very weird. I mean, Microsoft has dropped the freaking ball more in the last year than they have in the last decade, right? So it said Microsoft is offering 7% of its workforce the option to retire early, the latest attempt by a major tech firm to downsize while ramping up artificial intelligence investments. The one-time retirement program, a company first, will be available to employees whose age and years of service total 70 or higher. Whose age and years of service total 70 or higher, Microsoft said. CNBC and Bloomberg first reported on the voluntary buyouts, which the company confirmed to CNN. Those at the senior director level and below will be able to participate. Microsoft plans to notify eligible employees on May 7th. I would highly recommend, if they're giving you a parachute, to take it. Because the alternative, I mean, I tell this to anybody. When a company is downsizing and they look to, sunset some of their older employees or more expensive employees, take the deal. Because if you don't take the deal, it's like a game show. If you get too greedy, you could wind up losing everything, like deal or no deal. Take the deal, leave with the $100,000 suitcase or whatever, because the alternative is they push your ass out later and you're not going to get as good of a deal. If they're looking to cut, you're still going to get cut. Just at least you can leave on your own with your head held high, right? I would take the buyout. They're not going to keep you on. They're not going to keep you on. Microsoft shares fell 4% on Thursday, the day the company informed employees about the program. Yeah, because people are looking at Microsoft. They're like, you don't have a plan and your shit doesn't work. Tech giants have made sweeping staff cuts over the past year in response to the impact of AI on both the workforce and the broader tech industry. Meta on Thursday says it's going to cut 10% of its workers, or roughly 8,000 jobs, to operate more efficiently. Amazon eliminated 30,000 jobs across 2 rounds of layoffs in January and October. And fintech company Block slashed 40% of its staff earlier this year because a significantly smaller team can do more and do it better with AI tools. Now, that's actually not incorrect. Right? That actually is there's a big difference between a smaller team, basically our most qualified, most valuable people with the AI tool set can do more than, having their hands tied with a bunch of incompetent people. Right. But that's a huge difference from we're going to fire everybody and replace everybody with machines. And that's what people are not understanding. If you've worked with AI, you know how freaking stupid it actually is right now. It's not always going to be this stupid, but it's pretty stupid right now. The AI that they're trying to sell us on, this magic AI that can do everything, that is many years away, right? But we will need fewer people because people can do more, just like they can do more with a computer. And then I talked about how I started out in newspapers. Yeah, remember those? Yeah, I started out in newspapers. And I remember going to the old abandoned composing and typesetting room in the newspaper I started at. And it was this massive, this like cavernous space where they used to hand set all the newspaper type, right? There were like dozens and dozens of people that worked at this newspaper that would just, do the block type and they would put the words in. And just like they had Mr. Rogers back in the day, they'd show you how they put the newspaper together, and all those people got replaced with like a dozen people using computers. And I was there when they started replacing everyone with computers. They kept a couple of guys from the old composing department, but mostly everything was going to computers. They're getting rid of manual paste up, and it's just kind of the way it is now. Now, apparently newspapers kind of still exist, but not in the capacity that they did before. And that's what's going to happen here. Microsoft, like other tech companies, has been investing heavily in AI infrastructure and tools. It spent $37 billion on expenses related to data centers and infrastructure in the quarter that ended in December. And this is going to be Satya Nadella's undoing. This guy has overspent on AI, and they've tried to force people to use AI. And they're apparently using AI in their updates, and it's effing everything up because these companies really do think it's like a magic bullet. Oh, we can just use AI and we can get rid of those employees. We don't need Q&A or anything. It's like, no, it's not there yet. Someday, maybe. And it might be someday soon. It might be in the next, 5 to 10 years. But right now, you absolutely need a human to look over every damn thing the computer does because it does some really dumb shit. Tech leaders have claimed that AI has enabled them to accomplish more with smaller teams, thanks in part to AI's proficiency in writing code. That's even debatable. Look at some of the code that Claude outputs. People have said it's a freaking disaster. Microsoft is among the many companies offering developers coding agents that can work on their behalf. The voluntary buyouts came after Microsoft laid off 9,000 workers last summer. That's the largest cut since 2023. So this is the new normal for tech. They're just going to keep laying people off. It's crazy. But let's go back to this update. I want to go back out to Pirate Nation on X, and let's see what some of these comments are like. Toolbox Hub has task failed successfully. Okay. Microslop, it was quiet for a while. Now it's back, says Lord Waffleman. This meme keeps getting updated every few months. Says no Robertas. Microsoft is a corporation that turns, let's see, Microsoft CEO claims 30% of its new code written by AI. Update failures. Yeah, that's what's going on here. This is why we run Linux. Exit that shithole of Windows long ago. Yes. If you can do it, I would highly recommend it. I would. I mean, I think it's Linux is what Windows is supposed to be. But, it's not for everybody. I get it. I'm honestly impressed at this point. Microsoft managed to fuck up every update without fail. Take a bow. The system came factory installed with a 1080 that would place it in between the 6th and 7th generation Intel. That means these problems are all affecting PCs that don't meet the Windows 11 system requirements. I wouldn't call that significant problems. Windows 11 system requirements. Are you joke? The hardware requirements are completely ridiculous, but that doesn't change the fact that it sounds like these problems are affecting hardware that isn't supported in Windows 11. No, because it wouldn't install Windows 11 if that were the issue, right? Shitty coding. You're saying that Windows 11 needs a beefy GPU just to display its shitty UI. Yeah, the Lizard King. No, my argument has nothing to do with that. They're talking about Dell and HP with a 1080 Ti. That means 1080 came as factory installed GPU. So yeah, these are machines from a few years ago, but like, what the hell? I actually have an older box that I tried to install Windows 11 on a year or two ago and said, yeah, I can't do it. It's too old. It won't let me. It will kill this machine. I'm like, it's killed machines that supposedly are Windows 11 ready too. Anyway, there we go, guys. I think Microsoft, are they gonna buy Linux or something? I know it's open source, but are they gonna like somehow package bottle Linux and sell it? Because they're doing a lot of advertising for Linux lately. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.